Hi everybody. I just thought I'd pop in and say hi for a few minutes. Um, I came down with a very nasty virus over the weekend. On Saturday afternoon, it hit me pretty quickly. I thought it was the flu coming, and it was. It had that feeling, but then it didn't settle. It wasn't the flu, really. It didn't settle in my lungs. It was more like an intestinal virus. I think it's called viral gastroenteritis or something like that. I'm still getting over it, but today is the first day I've felt like a human again. I got very weak from lack of food. I just was afraid to eat anything because of what was happening afterwards. So I went on this sort of liquid diet, which is great, when you're trying to settle things, but you can't handle it for very long. Really, 2 days is pretty much maximum for being without real food. Um, which is an eye opener, I suppose, to some extent. I was thinking about people who have food deserts or don't have food or suffering from famine, and my heart goes out to them because the weakness that overcomes you is really astonishing. I Fortunately, my husband was home and he's been really doting on me, and I don't know how I would really manage this without his support. So I'm really, really grateful for that. Um, so anyway, this morning, I made up he made up for me a concoction that helps with electrolytes. So that's something, I guess, that, if you start having, let's just call it what it was, unending diarrhea. If you start, losing your nutrients in a very quick way, you can get dehydrated and you can lose minerals and things that are important for your health. So I found a recipe online for a kind of concoction of water, orange juice, lemon juice, a little honey, and a little salt. I think that was basically it. And that helps to, you sip that, and then that helps to restore your electrolytes, which you really need to keep up in order to not get sicker. So that was happening, and I did have some chicken broth, which like clear broth, and so anyway, but so that was so that all started Sunday night, and then so Monday, Tuesday, I was just basically on a liquid diet. I was afraid to eat anything because of the after effects, and then this morning I decided, you know what, I have to eat because I am so weak. I wanted to take a shower this morning and I didn't think I had enough strength to take it. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to have to eat. And who cares what the consequences are, because I just felt like I just couldn't go on like that for any longer. So I learned that there's something called the BRAT diet. It's BRAT, and it stands for bananas, rice, white rice, apples, and toast. No butter. Ooh. Anyway, so I've started that basically today, and we'll see what happens. This may be a short video, I don't know. Anyway, this really has nothing to do with living in Ireland, but what it does have something to do with is being very grateful for having a nice warm home in which to nest, and a supportive partner who is really taking very good care of me and doing all the cooking and disinfecting and whatnot. Oh my God. I don't know how I got this thing. But anyways, I'm really hoping I'm turning the corner. I don't think I'd be talking to you right now if I wasn't feeling marginally better. So anyways, thanks for listening to that. Yeah, I did make a few notes, of course. Need to, otherwise I'm going to forget stuff. This morning I found a YouTube channel called, I think it's IBET, something like that. It's a lovely young woman named Yasmin, and she's an artist, and she incorporates concepts from Carl Jung in her art. And she's got several videos online in YouTube. I'll put the link below in the description. And she talks about how to really illustrate like your dreams in order to learn more about yourself. So I have an interest in Carl Jung. I can't say that I'm an expert in any way, but I did read a book of his when I was a young woman called Man and His Symbols, which he wrote the first chapter of shortly before he died in 1961. And that book, the other chapters were written by his associates. And the book's mission was to take his concepts and write them in a simple, clear way that a wider audience could be interested in and learn from. And so I did read that back then, and it was pretty fascinating, I thought. I have always been interested in dreams, and I used to keep a dream journal for many years, but I never thought of incorporating artwork or using art practice as a way of working with dream imagery or dream symbols. So this gal's YouTube channel and her videos are really interesting, and she explains things really well. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, I will put the link to her video channel in the description below. I don't know if there was anything else I wanted to say. Well, I guess just to say that my approach to art, although I haven't specifically worked with dreams, I do often sit down, with no plan when I do artwork. So it's just sit in front of the blank piece of paper, and I have all my art supplies, which you may notice some of them here. And just play. And I suppose you could say that maybe there's some quality of my unconscious working with the colors and the marks and the lines and such, because I don't, like I said, I don't have a plan, and I just I drop some color on the paper and then try to think about it or respond to it, really. That's pretty much what I do. I enjoy it, and it's always a surprise to me. I never know what I'm going to end up with. Sometimes I like it, and sometimes I don't like it. But it's where I find a lot of joy, and it's also for me very peaceful and calming. And there's a lot to be said for that, at least part of the day just to try and calm down. There's a lot to be nervous about these days, so it's helpful. I recommend it if you're into doodling, as we say. Okay, that's it for today. I hope you're doing well, and I appreciate this time to chat, and I think it's really helpful for me to share my thoughts. And everything in Ireland is pretty good at the moment. I mean, where I live is very calm and peaceful and quiet. Just the sound of the birds in the morning. Now they're starting to chirp, which is great to hear them again. The days are finally starting to get a little bit longer. Now that we're at the end of January, you can start to see the evenings getting a bit longer and the mornings coming a little bit sooner, although it's still pretty dark. At 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30, it seems like it, although I don't know, I have the drapes closed, so I'm not sure. But anyway, the days are getting longer, and that's the sign of spring coming, and it's much appreciated. Okie dokie, Smokies. Catch you next time. Bye. Here's the view out the studio window. I just thought I'd share that at the end here. It's overcast, of course. It's been drizzly. What can you say? You know, it's Ireland. Those are alder trees we planted when we moved here, and we planted those evergreens too. We've planted a lot of trees here, over 100 really. And the mountains in the back, well, some might call them hills, but we call them mountains. It's called the Ox Mountains, or Slieve Gamph in Irish. Anyway, it's actually not raining at the moment, but that's it for me. See you again. All the best. Bye.